What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Geek Pantheon, your place for all your geeky goodness.
Favorite fandoms.
And nerdy narcissisms.
I am Eric.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Miley.
And welcome to the live stream. We've been going for about 12 minutes now and realized that the stream was set to private. So we're excited for you all to join us. We're going to start it over. But yeah, we have an announcement on something that we are changing about the format of the show. We are cutting the news segment because you all are geeks, so you know the news probably when we do. We're not dropping any bombs unless it's Pokemon news that you want to know.
Why do you assume everyone doesn't know Pokemon news?
Because I don't. So
Me either.
So you're
in
the
Pokemon expert.
You are officially in the minority on this podcast.
I've been in the minority.
So yes, if something huge happens, we might address it. But just moving forward, we're not gonna do the news. We're just gonna jump into the straight into the main topic of the show. Which, before we do that though, the obligatory social media plug. So, Trevor, where can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook at the Geek Pantheon, on Instagram at the Geek Pantheon. I really felt like I was on the news just then. It was almost seamless. Twitter at the Geek Pantheon, on our website, thegeekpantheon.com. Our email is thegeekpantheon@gmail.com, and you can find our content on YouTube.
Yes,
and
where you're at right now if you're watching this
on iTunes and Google Play. Is that a thing?
Google Play, yeah, we're on Google Play.
Cool, it's there.
I don't know what Google Play
and in the Bible.
Yep.
Yes. Most
in
importantly,
the
Bible. We are there.
So we're everywhere.
Yeah. So last time we talked about Pokemon with Trevor, who dropped some knowledge on us. But this time around, we're switching it over to my lovely wife, Miley. Miley, what are we talking about?
Well, if you can't tell by my shirt, we are talking about Jurassic Park and the entire Jurassic Park series. And I'm very excited because it's probably my favorite fandom after Harry Potter, of course.
Yeah, she loves these movies and books a lot.
So much.
So where do you want to start the discussion?
Well, maybe I should just give a quick overview for people who, have been living under a rock for the last 20 years and don't know what Jurassic Park is.
And haven't been excavated yet.
Oh! So, obviously, Jurassic Park is about dinosaurs.
That is true.
Probably one of the most exciting topics I can think of. Dinosaurs fascinate me, and I love them very much. So, Jurassic Park is about a rich white dude who commissions a team of scientists to try to bring dinosaurs back from extinction. And they actually succeed by extracting dino blood found in mosquitoes from the prehistoric era, preserved in amber. How anyone came up with that idea, I don't know, but it sounds like it would actually work. So I think we should try it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, why not?
I know. So anyway, they actually, figure out how to clone dinosaurs, essentially. And, the thing to do when you clone a dinosaur is to make it into entertainment for people. Put it into a park.
Zoo.
Exactly, just like a zoo, except way more dangerous. So that's what they do. And before they actually launch and open to the public, they bring a team of scientists in to kind of just peruse the park and test out all of its kinks, and it goes horribly wrong. So that's the first Jurassic Park movie where this world is kind of established. The island they're on is called Isla Nublar. Yes. And basically, I guess this is spoiler free. Really, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, if we get into stuff about the latest Jurassic World, we can drop a
spoiler alert. We're talking about Jurassic Park.
Yes. If you have not seen the seminal 1990s classic, sorry.
So anyway, they don't open the park. So the second movie, they kind of take an expedition back to try to rescue the dinosaurs, and that goes horribly wrong too. In the third movie, they do something similar, but they end up in San Francisco with a couple of dinosaurs that get loose. It's a whole big thing. So that's the end of the first trilogy of Jurassic Park, I'm sorry. And then 22 years later, or at least that's when Jurassic World is set, we get
I was like,
the successful implementation of the dinosaur amusement park, and you see the wonderful movie Jurassic World, and then you come to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which just came out.
Yes.
So for those who have been living under a rock and don't know what Jurassic Park is, then there you go. That's what it is. I came to love this franchise after kind of a long journey. I remember watching it as a child and basically wrapping up in a blanket and covering my face the entire time because I was so terrified. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to open my eyes. It scarred me for a long time. And I actually didn't watch any of the Jurassic Park movies again until Jurassic World came out and we went to see it.
Date
and
night.
I absolutely fell in love with it. Thought it was the coolest movie ever. Loved every second of it. And had to go back and rewatch the franchise as an adult and loved every bit of those movies too. So I am a true fan and love dinosaurs. Love just the mystery and the, you know.
You do have an Indominus Rex right there in front of you.
I do. My little Irexy. So I want to know how you guys came to enjoy this franchise.
Mine's probably the most boring answer because I'm old enough to where, I mean, when the trailers first came out for Jurassic Park, like I was at that perfect age where dinosaurs were still this really cool, interesting thing.
Yeah.
And so now the dude that did E.T. is making a dinosaur movie, and that sounds amazing. And so, yeah, I was at the theater, had my mind blown and was terrified of the T-Rex and the Velociraptors because I don't think anything had ever looked that real that wasn't like real before.
Yeah,
like
for
it was
sure.
terrifying. Then I saw the second one. Thought it was pretty good. Not as good as the first one. And then by number 3, we didn't even go to the theater to see it. I walked in on my parents watching it on DVD one evening, made it about 20 minutes, and was like, this is dumb, and I left. Then
Throwing shade at the last 2 Jurassic Park movies.
I like this. I like the second one. I've gone back and watched the second one, and I think it's just kind of what they talk about in the newer movies about, like, you can't recapture that feeling of seeing dinosaurs in a movie for the first time that way.
That's so true.
And so in the Lost World, it's just kind of like, they're back.
They
But
did a good job implementing new dinosaurs.
yes,
That's
in
very
the
true.
Lost World.
That's very true.
But then at the end of the day, like Jurassic World, we went and saw that opening weekend. Went and saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom opening weekend. So, yeah. I've just kind of grown up and followed the series as it's come out.
But you're also old enough to remember, like, dinosaurs when they were, like, alive.
He is ancient, you guys. Eric is so old.
We have viewers older than me, so imagine how you're making them feel right now.
You guys are old too, and we still love you. Just
They
like
named
we
the
love Eric.
dinosaurs.
I don't think you're old. She does.
If they can figure out YouTube, they're not too
That's
old.
so true. You are doing good for yourself. You just keep on going.
I'm sorry for the way the other 2 hosts are speaking to you right now. My deepest apologies. So, Trevor,
how did you get into Jurassic Park?
I remember the first time I watched Jurassic Park. I was like 5 or 6, and my dad was watching it on TV, and I just remember seeing the scene where the T-Rex comes out of its cage for the first time. Like, the kids are in the Jeep.
Terrifying.
And then he goes and eats the guy on the toilet. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Scary and funny.
Yes.
But I wasn't allowed to watch the rest of the movie because it was too scary.
Aw. What?
Right?
Too scary.
I know. So
lame.
I rediscovered. I think I went and saw like The Lost World maybe in a theater or like with friends or something, and then I like made my parents rent the first Jurassic Park so I could watch it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure I saw them a little out of order, but it's fine.
It's okay.
I've actually read the first Jurassic Park book by Michael Crichton, the book that the series is based on. and I'm in the middle of reading The Lost World, the second book, and I think I read Jurassic Park, the book, in a matter of hours, because it is so amazing. so good. The Lost World is really good too, but it's not as suspenseful and crazy and high stakes as the first book. So I definitely recommend the first book if you are at all a fan of this franchise. It really enhanced my love for Jurassic World as a series. And I also thought it was really cool. I read them after I saw the movie, so I was able to kind of compare and contrast some of the differences. And I just think it's interesting what some of those differences are. So I'm going to talk about a few of those. So one of the first differences is the opening of the first Jurassic Park movie, where the little girl is, or it might be a boy in the movie, I can't remember, is on the island and gets bit by a dinosaur. And then, you know, the action changes and you hop into the story. And I think it's mentioned later in the movie. That's actually the opening of the second book. So they kind of flip-flop that. And that's a pretty consistent thing that happens between book and movie, that a lot of the elements that take place in the two books are out of order in the movie. You see a lot of scenes take place in the first book that you don't see till the third movie, or, you know, just little nuances, little different dinosaur chases pop up out of order sometimes. And it's kind of cool to match it up and see that. So another funny difference is the kids in the first Jurassic Park movie, they're actually flipped in the book. So in the book, Lex, who is older in the movie and really good at computers, she's actually the younger, kind of annoying sister, the one who has to be helped along the way a lot more, and it's kind of the baby. And Tim, who's the younger sibling in the movie, is actually the older sibling in the book, and he is really good at computers and kind of helps them through the world and helps them fight the dinosaurs. But I wonder if that is a little bit of, they're trying to push some girl power in there when they switched those characters for the movie. I just think that's an interesting little tidbit. Mm-hmm. But there's actually a scene in the first Jurassic Park book where the kids and Dr. Grant are floating down a river. They find this raft on their journey back to the center. They find this raft and they're floating down the river, and they're really excited because they're going to get there a lot faster. But then all of a sudden, here comes the T-Rex chasing them down the river. And it's this really intense scene. It happens over like a course of 2 chapters in the book, but it's not used anywhere in the movies. Even though it's a really cool scene, it's actually used as inspiration for the River Rapids Jurassic World ride at Universal Studios. So if you've ever ridden the Jurassic Park Universal Studios ride that's kind of like River Rapids, that's actually a scene from the book.
I have
not.
It's a great ride.
I need to.
It was a lot of fun. I rode it in like March though, so the water was real cold. Yeah. So, well, awesome.
Yep. One more cool difference between the book and the movie is John Hammond, the white dude that is super rich, and why are you laughing at me?
Just the way you say white dude makes me feel bad for being a white dude.
I'm sorry.
Like, the white dude.
Man with the white hair who is old, who happens to be of the Caucasian race.
Oh, man.
I don't know how else to say it. I'm sorry. So John Hammond, who's the kind of creator of the whole world.
John Hammond, played by Richard Attenborough. There, that's what he looks like.
Yes, hilarious.
Also the guy who started Wendy's, right?
Yep, same dude, and KFC.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Got it.
All
Definitely.
All the same. But anyway, he dies at the end of the book.
Spoilers.
He doesn't die in the movie. Well, I think he like is dying in one of the movies. Can't remember. But he dies at the end of the book. And the way he dies is really funny too. and ironic. It's at the end. They've already been saved.
Alanis Morissette just comes out and stabs him and sings ironic.
Close, very close. So he actually is walking back to safety where the people who have come to rescue them are there. And one of the pre-recorded park features of a Tyrannosaurus Rex roaring, so not a real Tyrannosaurus Rex, just a recording of it for ambiance in the park, goes off. And he thinks it's the real Tyrannosaurus Rex coming after him. So he starts running, and he's an old little feeble man. So he falls down this it's not really a cliff, it's just kind of a little hill, but anyway, he can't climb his way back up because he breaks his leg. And little compies, which are the small dinosaurs that are funny, that do a lot of funny stuff in the series, you always see them, shots of them, like, this is a dinosaur toy, and then it moves and you're like, no, it's a real dinosaur. Okay. Those are compies. So they're kind of like the rats of the dinosaurs. They come and eat him alive while he can't get back up this hill. So it's just really funny because, and ironic. I mean,
it's
he
hilarious.
Dies, so that's not funny. But it's fitting that he has brought these dinosaurs to life, and there's so many consequences from, his money and what he's done. And he gets eaten alive by compies in the end. Like,
hysterical.
I know. Like a velociraptor could have come and he could have had this epic, ending, but nope, just compies. Rats ate him, basically.
Pulled out that cane with the amber end and had a sword fight with a velociraptor.
Shall not pass.
Eaten by compies, man. Not a good way to go. So that's some interesting differences between the books and the movies.
Well, now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I heard, well, you haven't read The Lost World yet.
I'm in the middle of The Lost World, so I might know the answer to your
question. I had heard that because The Lost World was written after the first Jurassic Park film came out. Or at least it got released. And so I had heard they had changed some stuff. Well, Michael Crichton changed some stuff that happened in the first book for The Lost World to make it more in line with the movies. I think originally Dr. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum's character, died in the first book.
Yeah, that's another difference. But it's presumed that he died. But then he came back to life, and the whole book is about him.
Yeah. So, stuff like that. So,
yeah,
it's interesting.
It is interesting. So, I think the thing that I love most about the Jurassic Park universe is just how the story it's just more than a story. It builds this entire world, and I think that's what a lot of us nerds love about fandoms in general, is that there's so much more than the stories they tell. They create an entire universe, a world you can step into that's so intricate and so detailed, and may have, things you've never thought about before that are just so cool to you that you wouldn't have dreamed up in your wildest imagination. Why are you looking at me like that?
Sounds an awful lot like a book series that somebody refuses to read.
Okay, we're not getting into this on my episode.
She refuses to read Lord of the Rings.
I've tried to read Lord of the Rings multiple times, and it's a boring, boring book.
Read The Hobbit first. You'll want to read the rest.
I've read The Hobbit 2 times. I like The Hobbit. The Hobbit's
great.
Fine. No, The Hobbit's fine. I like it. But this is not what we're talking about, you guys.
We might now.
Let me see your notes. Rip.
Yep. I don't like Lord of the Rings. Sue me.
I will.
Your dad's a lawyer.
You're my husband.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, what else would you like to talk about? Do you have any questions for us about our understanding?
I want to know what your favorite dinosaur is.
That's hard.
I know, it is hard. It's a very hard question.
Mainly because I don't know any of their names.
I'll tell you their names.
So when I was younger, I know it was the one with the horn on the back of its head. Maybe
the one horn on the Stegosaurus?
No, it's like the Pachyosaurus maybe or something.
Oh, with the rounded?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what those guys are called. I should have brought my book in here.
But those are my favorite when I was younger.
You said you were going to tell us the name of the dinosaur.
But I always loved
that
Triceratops too.
I love Triceratops.
Hello.
Throwing it back to Land Before Time.
Yes.
Sarah the Triceratops was the best character.
And the new movie with the little baby.
Oh, so cute.
Adorable.
Yeah. Eric, what's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur, I don't know, it changed a lot growing up. I was pretty generic in that I really liked the T-Rex when I was little, just because it was big with the baby arms. Probably now. Man, that's a hard question.
I know, it's a great question, though. You're welcome for thinking of it.
Favorite dinosaur. Definitely not the Megalodon.
No, he's
that
terrifying.
Thing can die in a fire.
Well, and you have even... Okay.
We don't need to get into my...
Eric's biggest fear is the ocean.
Under the sea.
Not the ocean.
Under the sea.
Being in the ocean.
I've been deep sea fishing. Like, I've been out where you can't see land in the
top of
ocean,
the
and that
ocean.
didn't scare me. I didn't get in the water.
Eric is totally freaked out by the unknown in the ocean.
Yeah, because there's like thousands of things that can kill you.
I mean, I'm not saying
And
it's an
actively
irrational
want
fear.
to.
It's a great fear to have.
I
mean, I'm afraid that Voldemort's going to pop out of my toilet every time I flush it. So, for comparing fears... Oh, man.
But have you ever jumped in a
Voldemort
lake
is
and all
so
the fish
scary.
run away?
What? Not in a lake. The ocean.
Yeah.
I'm fine in lakes.
They'll run away. It's fine.
Some of them will, except for the ones that want to eat you.
They don't want to eat you. They just want to eat.
Anyway, what's
Probably-
your favorite dinosaur?
I really have grown to like the one with the like exposed skull, like battering ram.
The one that was featured in Fallen Kingdom, the new movie.
Spoilers. Yes.
That's not a spoiler.
You shouldn't say what it did.
Spoilers. It rams
It
into
just
things
was
with its head.
there.
Okay, well.
But yeah, I
How do you
really like that
dinosaur?
one. So
Would you like to know my favorite dinosaur?
yes, I would.
Easy. Velociraptor. It should not... everyone's favorite dinosaur should be a velociraptor. Why are you falling asleep?
'Cause it's
Velociraptor
such
is the
a
best
boring
dinosaur
answer.
ever. It's not a boring answer. Tell me why it's a boring answer.
Because I mean, it's of course people love the Velociraptors because they've been like the main characters of all the Jurassic Park movies, like the featured dinosaur.
The main featured dinosaur of the trilogy, the original, is not the Velociraptor.
I think for screen time, you have to give it to them.
No.
Because the T-Rex
It's the
shows up
T-Rex.
for like those big
go
moments.
into the
T-Rex.
long grass.
See?
Oh my gosh.
They were definitely heavily featured in The Lost World. I would say maybe...
Velociraptors are for sure the dino star of the new reboot. Absolutely.
Dinosaur.
Those
like that.
baby
Dinosaur.
velociraptors were so cute.
Oh my gosh.
gosh.
I want to be a
I
baby
want
velociraptor trainer.
Spoilers!
I feel like sometimes Kylo is a baby velociraptor. Let's be real. Our dog Kylo.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Do you want to talk about the new movie?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
well, let's have one more discussion before we get into like the spoiler heavy discussion, just in case we have people watching that haven't seen the movie. I kind of want to talk about. I'm interested on your thoughts, being our resident Jurassic expert.
I would not call myself an expert.
She's
You wanna
basically a
talk about Disney World?
paleontologist.
Then I am an expert.
But so obviously there are a lot of differences between the original trilogy, the Park movies, versus the two new ones. But like even the first, like Jurassic World,
Yeah.
there were some pretty big differences. And so, do you like the direction the franchise is headed, or what are your thoughts on kind of the shift in tone from the first one to, or the first three to the new ones?
How would you describe the shift in tone? Be more specific for me.
Well, I definitely think that the human characters are a lot more disposable in the new movies.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that there's the dinosaurs are being given a lot more personality in the new ones. Because I mean, you go back to the first one, the first three, they didn't have names, like
Right.
whereas we have at least one dinosaur with an identifiable trait and name in the new movies, Blue. But they're also, I think, in my opinion, they're a lot. Specifically, I think the first one was really the only one that was this way. Jurassic Park is a very thoughtful movie. It asks some interesting questions, and it doesn't shy away from letting the characters answer those questions. And I don't think it's that way. The questions are less nuanced now.
Right.
Before it was like, we have the ability to bring back these species that were killed by nature. We can bring them back and let them flourish. Where's the ethical dilemma there? Whereas in the new movies, it's like, we're making our own new dinosaurs that are only going to be weapons.
Right.
And that's not really an ethical question. That's just like, oh, that's kind of evil.
But I think you do get the ethical question in the newest movie, and we can get into that. But
yeah.
I think to kind of answer your question, a big difference is just kind of the way franchises are made now. The Jurassic World franchise, you're right, the characters are more archetypal. They're not very developed characters, certainly not as much as Ian Malcolm and Dr. Grant and Ellie Statler, I don't know how to say her last name. They're fabulous characters. I think
the Luke, Han, and Leia of their original trilogy.
That's right. That's so right. God,
now we just got Anakin
right.
and Padme running around.
Oh, gosh.
And Obi-Wan.
Who's
You
Obi-Wan?
could throw Obi-Wan in.
Is Blue Obi-Wan?
Why not?
Or is Chris Pratt Obi-Wan and Blue is Anakin? I'm
Wait,
confused.
What? I don't know what you're talking about anymore. But I think there's just something to be said for how franchises are made today. The bigger, the more action-y franchises are, the more people are going to go see it, and the better your chances of making more money on it are.
Yeah,
So
that's fair.
they could just lose some of that nuance from the first, trilogy, because that's what consumers are telling people to make movies about.
Yeah. Your thoughts, Trevor?
I agree. I think that I think that, when you watch the first three, even the third one, which is like not great, the people are definitely so important, and the dinosaurs are just kind of like the conflict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the newer ones, the dinosaurs are still the conflict, but for some of them, you have mixed feelings of like, well, are you the conflict or are you the hero? Like,
they're on both sides of the conflict this time, rather than
Yeah.
just being the force that people are working against.
Right.
So, yeah. Cool. Well, anything else you would like to discuss about the Jurassiverse?
I think we can move on into the new movie.
The new
You guys
film,
are ready.
the spoilerific discussion. So,
Spoiler.
officially at this point, spoiler alert.
We should have built in a spoiler screen.
So, yes, if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's still in theaters. So go head out and see it.
And probably will be for the next 6 months.
Yeah, Solo felt like it dropped out of theaters real quick.
Well,
so
Solo
I didn't even get a
also
chance to
didn't
see
do that
it.
great.
we won't get into Solo.
Yeah.
Go see it. Come back, watch the rest of this. If you have seen it, stick around in the stream. Let us know what you think in the comments. So Miley, what did you think of the new movie?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Jurassic World will probably always be my favorite. Even more than Jurassic Park, actually.
That is
I don't know. No, maybe not.
utter
I take it
nonsense
back.
to
I
me.
take it back.
Utter
I take it
nonsense.
back.
Lies and
Jurassic
slander.
Park's my favorite.
Lies
Okay,
and
guys,
slander.
Jurassic Park.
can't. It's on the internet.
But I took it back. I did. Taking it off the internet. Putting it back on this.
It's fine.
Jurassic Park's
I'll
always
edit
been my
it to
favorite.
where-
It's like buying paint at Lowe's, painting your house and saying, "Oh, I didn't like this," and taking it back.
I'm taking it back. Okay, anyway, Jurassic Park is obviously my favorite. But in terms of the new franchise...
So out of the two that you have...
Shut up, everyone. Jurassic World has a special place in my heart because that's what reintroduced me to the series and what made me fall in love with it. But anyway, I love Fallen Kingdom. It's great. What did you guys think of it?
I saw it twice, most recently last night, and I liked it better the second time. I enjoyed it the first time, but I liked it better the second time, just because I don't know. I don't really know why.
See,
but
that's funny. I was the opposite. I liked it. I was amazed by it the first time and walked out thinking, this is my new favorite Jurassic World movie. I love it so much. And the second time we saw it, I realized how long it was. And I didn't dislike it. I still enjoyed viewing it the entire time, but I don't know.
I feel like I might have liked it more just because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I kind of dwelled a little more on the emotions of what you were supposed to feel throughout the movie, because I kind of had already prepped myself for the scene, like, before it had happened. So, like, especially the scene, like, when they're on the boat leaving the island that's erupting, and the brontosaurus silhouette in the smoke, it was just, like, twice as sad the second time that I saw it, because I was like, oh, but I know what's coming. Oh.
See, and for
Eric
me,
doesn't like that
moment, I feel like just took it one step too far over the top for me, like, because I acknowledged when the music was playing, like, this was the first dinosaur we ever saw in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it was a great moment.
A brachiosaur. And it's coming down the dock, crying out, wanting somebody to save it. They're gone. It's going to die.
Very sad.
And when the ash enveloped it, I was emotionally just so sad. And then the flame flared up and it, like, reared back and, like, the silhouette was cast. I was like, okay, this is a bit too far. Like, it took me out of the moment. I was like, this is way too cheesy.
I loved that moment. It didn't take me out of that moment. Now, you pointed it out, and the second time I watched it through, I did think it was too much. But it was because Eric had already pointed that out to me. So the first time I watched it, I didn't think it was too much. But I can see your point.
Just want to give a shout out to my Mima who is watching the stream. Hi, Mima.
Hi, Mima.
Mima.
But yeah, I really liked it the first time.
Yeah.
Walking out,
I did too.
Loved it. The second time I saw it, I had a very different opinion of it because it was
Which
so
was
long.
my first time seeing
Yes,
it.
the first time you saw it was the second time I saw it. I fell asleep twice.
And the second time I saw it.
It felt so long. All of the human characters were cartoonishly two-dimensional to me.
I love the little girl. She was my favorite part.
See, and
the little clone child.
Even for me, like, the clone thing was supposed to be this big reveal, but, like, it's not treated like anything.
I kind of
like,
knew it was happening.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, half the people I've talked to said, oh, I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
I
like
did
this
not.
emotionally impactful moment. But then for, like, me, it happens. It's revealed, like, she's a clone. And it's like, oh, they can do that. But nobody else on screen, except for the guy revealing the secret, treats it like a big
Acknowledged
deal.
it. You're
I didn't
right
think
about
he
that.
treated it like a big deal. I thought
Yeah,
it was
fair
just
enough.
like, you're going to take care of that clone girl? And
Yeah.
then the dinosaur comes and eats his
Cool,
two friends.
bye.
Like, and I was like, that was hastily taken care of.
And it's very clear that the filmmakers really wished that Richard Attenborough was still alive because they brought in James Cromwell to play the partner of John Hammond that we've never heard about before. And
Right.
oh, isn't this gonna? Oh, he has the exact same cane and dresses in all white just like he did. So it's clear they had this cool idea of John Hammond doing this. It was like, well, we can't do that, so
Yeah, they could have got Reba dressed up as the Colonel Sanders.
yep.
And that would have
That
been...
is the most convincing thing I've ever seen.
I mean, that could have been Paul Hammond.
John Hammond.
John Hammond. Who's Paul Hammond? I think that's a real person.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That's the person in our hometown.
Shout out to Paul Hammond if you're watching.
Paul.
Anyway, the direction and the cinematography in the movie were great. They were my favorite part. But just the more I kept thinking about the story, the worse the movie got.
This is my opinion. If the entire movie had been set on the island trying to rescue the dinosaurs, I would have been happy. Now, I understand why it was a very kind of risky and cool move to eliminate the island. The island's gone. We're never going back there. What's next?
Yeah.
That is extremely interesting. But at the same time, why put that in the same movie? Why not get your money's worth and make a movie where you go back and rescue the dinosaurs, and then the next movie is set at this guy's house we've never heard of, and then the next one is taking over the world. I just thought maybe there was too much going on my second viewing when I had time to kind of process it a little better. Yeah. It just was a lot. And I think that led to the problems we've been talking about of character development and stuff like that. You just don't have time to do that when your plot is so thick.
Yeah. To answer my own question that I posed earlier, though, I kind of miss the thoughtful nature of the first Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's a good point.
I think it's a very nuanced discussion, and they kind of tease it a little bit, like you said, with this new one about do we save these dinosaurs from extinction when they were already extinct and we've made them? But at the same time, for me anyway, and this is just my own personal worldview, it's not they are made, they are alive. Absolutely. So yes, you save them. Like, it's no longer that question of should we make more of them? Is this morally right?
Right.
It's these things are living creatures. Should we save them?
Yes.
So it's a little less nuanced.
I just got like a real big parallel that's probably way out there.
Yeah, let's not go.
I'm like, maybe that's what they were going for.
And I'd say that that thoughtfulness you're talking about and thought-provoking, it's even greater in the books. At the end of the first book, the first island is destroyed, and nothing's left. And the second book, you go to Site B, which was where they were actually doing all the research and experimenting and cloning. And so you get this kind of island of misfit toys of dinosaurs that didn't make it to
the T-Rex with 3 heads.
Or more
Cerberus.
More likely a T-Rex that's just extra dangerous, or
it's got appropriately sized arms so it can grab you now. That's the most terrifying beast.
Or some sort of, virus that's, being spread and throughout these dinosaurs that it's getting people sick on the mainland or whatever. There's just a lot going on in the books that I agree has kind of fallen off the franchise a little bit, I would say. I agree with you.
Now, I won't poo-poo on the first Jurassic World like a lot of nerds will, because that one actually got pretty heavily panned in nerd community. I really like that one.
Oh, I love that one.
But I do know that this new one's getting mixed reviews, which I kind of agree with. I do too. I love it. Don't get me wrong, but I agree. It just, the first time, I would recommend seeing it once, because the first time I loved it. It was awesome. Had a great time. It was on the second viewing once I actually stopped and analyzed it, where I was like, this does not hold up under scrutiny, in my opinion. I told someone that asked me if it was good. I said, I have my opinions, but it's worth seeing. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's worth seeing. And if you're like me, I'm the kind of person who I either love it or hate it. There's no in between for me. I can totally excuse all the flaws in a franchise if I love it. Like Harry Potter. Don't tell me that anything's wrong with Harry Potter, because you're the wrong one, not me, okay? Yeah, I can attest to that. So I can wholly view all of the Jurassic Park movies and Jurassic World movies and be thoroughly entertained and be perfectly happy. But when you get into the discussion of it, that's when I think kind of the cracks start to open and you see some of the... Much like Harry Potter. Nope. We're not talking about that today, Scrimpy. Trevor. I'm not saying anything. Have an opinion. When we talk about Harry Potter, I'll talk about Harry Potter. No, I really enjoy them. It's just I'm excited to see where they take the franchise now, because where this last movie ended off, it felt, I was telling Miley on the drive home after we saw it for the first time, it felt like the end of an Avengers movie. Yeah. Where all of the different heroes are now going their separate ways. We're going to get a solo movie with each of them, and then we'll get the big team up. Blue solo movie. How cool would that be? The T-Rex solo movie, the Megalodon solo movie. So let's talk a little bit about that, though, where we think the franchise is going. Because clearly they've set it up to where dinosaurs are invading America, at least. You see the T-Rex at the zoo roaring with the lion, and they're best friends. Pterodactyls. The pterodactyls made it all the way to France, which I want to know about that. But, and then what else that was Vegas. They were in Las Vegas. What? There's just a miniature Eiffel Tower in Vegas. That makes so much more sense now, you guys. I've seen this movie 2 times. Wow. Okay. Anyway. They made it all the way to Vegas. Woo! Stay for the post-credit scene.
And then what was the third? There was a third dino.
Megalodon was in the wave.
God, no, that was terrifying.
And then Blue is in the desert somewhere.
Yeah. So clearly, humans are going to have to learn how to live with dinosaurs.
Maybe. I mean, there's like 6 dinosaurs out there.
But then they also showed at the very end during that montage of all the dinosaurs that were sold and effectively
that's right
got to where they needed to go. So
yeah, so it's interesting to me that like I'm going to be interested. They've essentially shown the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. Like you watch
the Dino-pocalypse.
Well, you watch zombie movies and they never show the beginning of the apocalypse because there's so many questions you have to contend with an answer on how did humanity let this happen. Hello, Exalted Warforged. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
But what they've done
What?
it's just like with
I have paint on my hands. I just saw it and I was like, oh.
It's just like with the Planet of the Apes movies. Like they don't show how the apes logistically came to power, and so I'll be interested to see if we don't have a time jump of
maybe
like
another joke. I can't make these jokes.
Where the dinosaurs have already ascended to power, and it's almost like a post-apocalyptic dino film. So that'd be interesting to me.
That would be interesting. And another thing they didn't really address very much, which I guess it was more of a setup time, but was the weaponization of the dinosaurs. Hopefully that will be a big component of the next movie, because I think that's a very interesting plot point that they've kind of been foreshadowing.
They've been talking about it for 2 movies now, so
you would think that we would have seen more of it in this second movie, but hopefully we get it in the third.
Going to be called Jurassic World Prehistoric War.
You heard it here first on the Geek Pantheon.
Nailed it. I get royalties.
Claimed it. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. So
I am too. This is a franchise that I love and I will always be loyal to and stick with, no matter how crazy and silly it gets. I love watching them. They're great entertainment, and dinosaurs rock.
You know what I saw?
What?
Speaking of just dinosaur franchises, I went to rent some movies, which who does that anymore?
Oh my God. On Amazon Prime, you rented movies?
No,
or you
at
went
a video store.
what?
Which
Family
video?
We got one here.
Plugging.
In our town.
Wow.
But there were like 3 like B-list Jurassic Park movies.
Knockoffs,
Really?
So one was called like Triassic World or something like.
No way.
Yeah. And
Cretaceous
I was like,
Park.
I was like, I want to rent them all and watch them.
The Geek Pantheon views.
No, I'll be interested to see if they don't try to do a cinematic universe thing with this franchise. If they stick with just doing one movie, having be that singular franchise, or if we do get maybe not a Blue solo film, but like maybe a movie that doesn't feature Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and then they get brought back in for the next big installment.
I feel like if that happens, it's going to be straight to DVD releases after the franchise ends. I don't think they're going to let somebody else besides Chris Pratt make a Jurassic World movie. I would argue that that's one of the reasons why so many people go see it, is because of him.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Same people. They probably said the same thing about Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill back in the day.
Jeff Goldblum is freaking awesome.
In everything he does.
Yep.
Can we just do an episode on Jeff Goldblum?
Sure. Sounds
Why not?
great. Love the guy.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to talk about with the? What was your term for the cinematic, the franchise? The Jurassics.
The Jurassics.
The Jurassics. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you all for joining our discussion. We are obviously going to be having a post-credit scene.
Yep.
But just thank you all so much.
In Paris.
In Paris.
That's right. We're flying all the way to the Eiffel Tower with the...
Thank you all so much for watching. Like we said at the top of the show, if you want to be a part of the conversation, head on over to social media, connect with us. We love talking to you all. You can obviously Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Facebook is probably the most active avenue. We have a lot of great people on there talking about latest episodes and all the
all
different
on
shows.
All of us.
Yes, we are all on the Facebooks. Also, we have a Patreon. So if you like what we do and would like to see it done better, maybe
Or grow.
or grow
different
bigger.
people.
But I mean, the live streaming, what we were doing right now, literally would not have been possible without the generous donations of all of our amazing patrons.
Do you see this lighting? I mean, come on.
And a huge shout out to all of our show sponsors. I'm going to try to list them from memory.
Are there 10?
There are. Let me just go for it. Okay. Matt Lewis, Irene Villarito, Laura Pickren, Jessica Smith, Daryl Delaney, Darren Katzka, Ryan Royce, Charles Compton, Nico Batson, the Cam family.
Cam fam.
And I think that's it.
10.
So thank you all and all of our patrons are amazing and wonderful.
You guys are awesome.
And we love all of you. And if you would like to join our Discord, we have a great Discord that the patrons get to be on. That's a ton of fun. There's a lot of great things. So head on over to patreon.com/The Geek Pantheon to check out all of the awesome tiers. You all ready to go into the post-credit scene?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, I am Eric.
I'm Trevor.
And I'm Miley.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Now we have to Foley artist the post-credit scene music.
Again, you didn't put it in?
I know. I've been slacking.
Hi, my
What a
name's
Nick Fury.
This is Welcome to Shield.
Okay, thank you for that exact recreation of our
What a
audio
great
drop.
segue.
I haven't seen that one yet.
So yeah, we talked a bunch about musical theater in the last post-credit scene,
Which people like.
which I'm down to do again
Musical
I've
theater's
been
awesome.
I've been
No, we
listening
need
to
to do
my
a full musical theater episode.
I've been listening to my musical theater podcasts. I have opinions about things because I was told those opinions by other people. So
Yeah, that is what happens when you listen to your musical theater podcast.
well, we can't talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp because this guy's still getting caught
Trevor,
up on
you
the
haven't
MCU.
seen it?
He
I
has
haven't seen
Oh yeah, I forgot. I
16
forgot we talked
of
about
the Marvel movies.
You could go see Ant-Man though.
No.
He wants to.
It's so good.
It is so good. We'll get there.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
We'll get there.
He will kill me.
So good, you guys. Okay, the only thing I want to say about Ant-Man and the Wasp is that I love it more than the first Ant-Man movie. I think it's so good. That's all.
I love it at least as much.
No,
like
it's
it's not
so good.
worse than the first Ant-Man. The first Ant-Man was just such kind of a unique entity in the MCU. It was so
that's
different.
true.
That it was kind of hard to
I don't want spoilers.
to
doesn't
capture
wanna
that same
listen.
feeling. We're talking about the tone of the movie, not anything that happens. Calm down. We went and saw Won't You Be My Neighbor, the Mr. Rogers documentary.
You guys, listen, PSA. Everyone needs to see this
See this
documentary.
movie.
It is amazing. If
It's
you
not
grew up
included in the
watching
Wii. I
Mr.
haven't seen it.
Rogers, if you didn't grow up watching Mr. Rogers, you will get something from this documentary that will be life inspiring. So
Yes.
go see it now.
Bring your tissues.
Run. Bring your tissues. That's true.
Miley and I are AMC A-list members now, so we're going to be talking about movies that we saw a
You
lot
guys.
because we get 3 tickets a week.
AMC A-list.
Oh, that thing
is
happens.
Awesome.
Yeah, you should get it.
I mean, I don't have time to see movies.
You're doing this.
You have time to see movies.
Okay, I won't do this anymore.
You saw Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom for a second time last night.
Listen, that was a different thing that I did.
Ooh.
Oh, what thing?
What
We're not going to talk
Trevor.
about it. We're not going to talk about it because I might have made someone subscribe to the Geek Pantheon last night.
Hi.
What's up?
But yeah, we've seen a bunch of movies more than once. We saw Ant-Man, Won't You Be My Neighbor, Tag. We went and saw
Tag
Tag.
is so
I do want to see that.
It was
It's
a lot of
really
fun.
funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great deal.
Did you see Ocean's 8?
Yes.
We said it a while ago. We talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was good. Liked it.
It was good.
It was fun.
I gotta go to that 2:00 matinee on a Tuesday. Like that's my.
On Tuesday.
that's when I want to go see a movie. I don't like going when
You
it's
could
busy.
get AMC A-list and $20
The theater
a month.
I saw Jurassic World in last night
Unlimited.
had tops like 30 seats in it.
What theater?
You saw Jurassic World in that one?
Yes.
In a tiny one?
Yes.
Where?
In
Weird.
Tulsa.
Oh, in Tulsa.
At South
Okay.
Roads 20.
Yeah, you went. We've been to that one. You probably went to the screening room.
It was so tiny.
And were the seats super?
We sat and we had
tight?
to sit in the front row.
Yikes.
No, they were reclining seats.
Okay, yes. That's the way to go, though. You just have to go early.
Yeah.
Because if you go to a regular room at the South Roads 20, they are the tiniest seats you've ever sat in, and you are right next door to the person, like, shoving their hot dog down their throat. It is not good.
Well, it was so bad because we were in the front row, and to, like, read the captions on the screen, I was like... I was like...
Oh, man.
It was good, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else fun and exciting going on? Trevor's in a production of Newsies right now.
I'm in a production of... Look at that sweat of Newsies right now.
Let's get a close up. Going.
No! I'm in a production of Newsies right now where I do not sing nor dance. I just am a bully and I kick a crippled kid.
Oh, no.
Yep, I steal his crutch.
That's really unfortunate.
Yep, figuratively and literally, I steal his
Also,
crutch.
it's unfortunate that they're not utilizing your dancing and singing skills because you are a great dancer and singer. Who cast this?
To be
Give me
fair,
their
I
phone
didn't audition
number.
for it. They just asked me to do
Okay.
it.
More
Okay,
understandable.
And then, like, a week from... 2 weeks from tomorrow, I start directing a show.
Yes.
Woohoo! Tell the folks what you're directing.
Hands on a Hard Body. That's not the camera.
Oh
I'm
my
looking at.
God.
And
What
it's-
filth are you directing,
It's
Trevor?
it's a show about a Eric about a competition where people keep their hands on a truck and the last person standing wins the truck. So it's not dirty, but they do say the F word.
Just once, right?
Refrigerator.
Ford.
Feelings.
Floyd.
I don't know.
It's a good show. It's very Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Even though it's set in
People will
Texas.
love it.
And you've
Yeah.
got a good cast going. You've got
Yeah, the whole Cam fam.
Yeah.
the whole
So-
Cam
Patrons,
fam.
Cam fam.
Those
So
loyal
come
patrons.
see the Cam fam. And, but will hopefully be a great community theater production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be great. We're excited.
So, and then I start teaching.
Yes.
So you
I
can
gotta-
officially announce.
I mean, why not?
He just did.
It's on the internet. It's true.
That's right.
Yeah, I got a teaching job teaching elementary art.
So exciting. You're gonna be great.
I'm
at
gonna
that.
be literally coloring with children all day. I don't know why they would allow me to do that, but it's just coloring. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not
You
like
can't mess up art.
it's not like their real education is in my hands.
Mistake.
I just gotta learn complementary colors, and that's pretty much all you learn in elementary
Yeah.
art. So
You're killing it
nailed
already.
it.
Well, anything else you would like to talk about in the post-credit scene?
What are you doing this week, Eric?
Yeah, what's your week like? You have a big weekend.
Yeah.
We all do.
So I've been directing a competition piece for the Oklahoma Community Theater Association's festival, and Miley is my stage manager, and Trevor
I
is a member of
am.
the set crew.
You can't see the muscle.
Do
'cause
your
it's
other
not there.
hand.
No, it's
There we go.
funnier that way.
There you go.
Do it again. Yeah,
Nice.
muscles.
You know, I've been
Woo!
working out. That's not that bad.
So yeah, that is, the competition is this weekend. So hopefully it will go well.
Yep.
It will.
We'll see.
I've seen it 3 times. I cried all 3 times. So
Good.
It's a good show. It really is.
Not because
Eric,
it was
you did a good
bad,
job.
but because
Well,
it was
thank
sad.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think there's not much else to talk about, is there?
Nah.
I ain't got nothing.
I rescued a cat from a tree.
Did you all hear who is?
I did. I
And
rescued.
Eric just perfectly segues into something
Oh,
totally
because
this is
different.
old news to me. I
It
know.
happened yesterday.
Well, I've been following the saga on Facebook.
I
Yeah, I
rescued
saw
a
your
kitten
picture.
from a tree yesterday, and
cute
none of my
cat.
neighbors are claiming it, so I guess I have a cat now.
Okay, but if it's a wild cat, are you like gonna bring it in your house and it's gonna like
No, it had a
mark
collar.
everything? Oh.
It knows how to use a litter box. Like, but none of my neighbors.
Missing a cat out
none
there?
of my neighbors are claiming it.
Oh
So-
no!
If you're
that
missing
could
a
be
cat, let
bad.
us know.
I know. It's so affectionate though. Like that's
What
really.
are you gonna name it?
I don't know.
Thank you
Name
for-
suggestions in the comments below
Yes.
for Trevor's new cat.
Preferably Pokemon related.
Thank you for
Pikachu.
wishing us luck in
No.
Salted Warforged. I appreciate
Peachy
it.
Coochie. What? No.
Okay, moving
Yeah,
on.
that's my new kitten's name.
I was trying to think
Coochie.
of Pokemon, but it didn't work.
Did you all see who's-
Dido. Is that a Pokemon?
Ditto.
Ditto.
Dido's a band.
Dido is a
And I want
character
to
in
thank
Shakespeare,
you.
right? Dido?
No,
That's a
it's
Shakespearean
she's a
character.
singer.
No, Dido is
Give
a
me the
character
best
from a Shakespeare.
days of my life. Wasn't she a lesbian?
I don't know.
That's Tattoo. The band Tattoo.
Yeah.
I don't know what
All
you're
the
talking
things you
about. I'm too
said, all the
young.
things you said, running through my head.
Very similar.
Not at all. Did you all hear who is supposedly in final talks to be in Star Wars Episode 9?
Me?
You?
It's on the internet. It's true.
No. Oh, what's her name?
Shoot, we're about to get really rich, you guys.
What's her name? She played Felicity, but then the show got canceled because she got a haircut. Carrie Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Care Hut.
Carrie Hut. Yeah, Carrie Russell is going to be in Star Wars.
Okay.
Not excited about that.
What? You don't like Carrie Russell?
I like her, but I just thought you were going to say something awesome like Leonardo DiCaprio.
Or like Amy Jo Johnson, who was also in Felicity and the original Pink Power Rangers. That would have been
why
better.
Why couldn't they
Star
land the
Wars.
Pink Power Ranger?
She was also in a movie called Susie Q, and it's really good.
I love that movie.
Right? I found it on YouTube. It literally
such a
looks like
good
someone
movie.
would put a VHS video recorder up to their
Oh, I
VHS
had
playing.
the VHS. Okay, I love that movie. Poor
good.
Eric. Eric, tell us your thoughts on Carrie Russell in the new Star Wars
Isn't she a
movies.
gymnast?
Nobody cares.
We care. We're just a couple of Care Bears over here.
I love the Care Bears too. That TV show was good.
We care.
No, everything I've seen Carrie Russell in shows me that she is a competent
Is
actress.
that her name? That doesn't,
Carrie
that
Russell?
doesn't sound right for some reason. I don't know.
Isn't she the girl who was in Waitress? The movie?
And
The
August
movie,
Rush.
yeah. And she's on The Americans on FX.
Carrie? Yeah, I guess that must be right. Carrie
She
Russell.
also was a guest star on Scrubs for an episode. Anyway,
You need to do a Scrubs episode.
I can't do this all on my own.
We can wear our scrubs.
I have Scrubs.
Eric wears Scrubs every day.
Not every day.
Scrub
'Cause he's a doctor.
Not true.
I
Anyway.
I like to think he is when he wears his scrubs.
We are officially rambling, so I think it's time to call the stream a success. Okay, well, thank you all so much for joining us.
Yeah.
And we will see you all later. Do you want to do the goodbye thing?
Goodbye.